Finally, I'm out sailing again. Yeah, my mother is terminally ill with cancer and she's now in a hospice. And of course that has first priority above all of my own needs, etc. Because it's a limited time. So I just haven't had very much energy or time to sail. But today, my kids, my teenagers are off on their own, and the weather's absolutely gorgeous. Light wind, sun, not too hot. And I took out the boat, and I can just feel that all the sailing that I did this winter and in the Eastern, it really sort of built up the boat knowledge, so that now I only have very, very, very few butterflies when I'm taking the boat out of the harbour on my own. Hopefully next week I'll go to Copenhagen and get my rolling Folex rigged, and hopefully also I can find a aluminium welder who can just sort of invent some kind of really, really solid construction for my wind vane. That's at least my plan, but all the riggers, they are really, really busy before everybody's going sailing. I'll see. And in these light winds, my boat is actually really balanced. And that's so good, because that's, I think, one of the really important things with the wind vane also, that you can balance the boat. Now it's actually sailing itself, and it's kind of on course. I can walk. So in these light winds it's really well balanced. It's fantastic. It's a whole different and very calming experience with the sun. Yeah, it's sailing itself. Beautiful balance. And then I will have my, this is where my furling is going to replace it, stay there. And it's going to make it a lot easier to sail the boat on my own. Slightly safer also, and then for long distances I will use the tractor. And the dogs are on board and they're calm because there's not too much wind. And my original Lowrance, the real plotter, is not working, or it might also be the electricity, because I sold my compass. It was a very, very nice compass, but I could not get used to sort of the double digits, so I sold it for good money. And I might have been, in the process of desampling it, then I might have taken out the electricity for my GPS. And today is just sort of a test run for myself, building up the energy to go sailing on my own, and hopefully also some longer stretches with my kids. My plan was, over the winter, I was buying guidebooks for Norway, looking at routes and maps. Lots of YouTube videos from Norway also. But with a terminally ill mother that I'm visiting at least once a week, maybe twice, depending on her condition, then I know that I'm not going to sail to Norway. I'll see if I'll get to Sweden. Yeah, that's just the way it is, being human. Try to just leave the rudder alone and see if it's like fluctuating a little bit. See if it self-corrects if I don't touch the tiller. It's going into the wind, which is what you want a boat to do if you're not touching it, so it sort of sticks its nose into the wind so that it stops. So that is so far so good, and it's very nice to get to know all the little details when there's as little wind as this, because and it's safe. had a long period where I've been uninspired, tired, reading, YouTubing a lot, and I guess it's a little bit of burnout, also due to my mother's illness. Organizing everything, and every break that I have is not, utilized to do something fun, but visiting her. But slowly, now it's also the children's holiday. They are in the colony here with their big sister. So I'm actually starting to taste the freedom of having no kids, but I still have to organize everything around them. But today I just woke up and I just feel I'm going sailing today. And downstairs is a little bit messy. I could do some boat projects. I still need to find a better way to get the stairways built so that I can access the engine easier. I just found this aluminium in my colony here that I used to put on thermal roof plates, but I had a little bit left, so I glued that onto my kitchen table. And then these tiles were coming off, so I made them. And in the process, I also ruined my refrigerator, punching a little hole in the freezing compartment. So now I am looking for a recycled refrigerator for the boat. Oh yeah, it's a mess down here. It really is a mess. Just getting the boat ready and then throwing everything, but also trying to relax about it, because is it important? No, not right now. And that's a doggy. Hi, Molly. And it's pretty amazing this that it's so well balanced that I could actually go down and I can kind of hear with the water running along the side if it's on or off course. It's amazing, but it's really nice to experience, because then the sails can be balanced enough that the wind vane is probably gonna work. So I was a little bit not nervous, but thinking about that. And my sailing friend, the sailmaker, she is currently working on my lazy bags, and they're going to be absolutely stunning, and it's going to be so much easier and so much faster. So the plan was that I was gonna next week, this week, sailing some long distance to go to Copenhagen to get the Genoa and maybe the wind vane on, and then hopefully she could come and put the lazy bags on. Now I'll have to call the rigger tomorrow, because they haven't really responded to my email, so that can sort of turn off the whole that kind of planning. But then I'll just go sailing, and I can get the lazy bags anyway. So I'm looking forward to that. In the early spring, I disassembled my winches, serviced them, cleaned them, serviced them, and after that, only this one was working in 2 gears smoothly, but this one wasn't. So of course I procrastinated a little bit because I had to disassemble it, but getting off course. Oh yeah, the wind dropped, that's why. So there's not so much driving power in the sails. That's why. So as it goes. Now I have disassembled them a couple of times, and now it takes me 3 to 4 minutes. And it turned out that it was a little bit, a little feather, a little spring. That there are 2 springs that sort of drives a little, sort of like a door, that sort of makes the gear, the 2 gears work in the wheels. And I could see that it had fallen out probably when I put in the pieces. So what I did in the short run was that I could sort of bend the pieces that I could get out and then make it, function. And this is actually what's working now, and it's working fine now. But of course I sort of just ordered springs, and they're here. So these are these little ones that one had sort of was falling out, and then it what got smashed in the wheels. Now I have them. I could probably have for the rest of my life, and now I can just replace the one. It's so easy. So learning by doing. On my first aluminium boat, I had a big lump of aluminium. I bought that with the boat, and when I was in harbor, I was just throwing it overboard in a wire. So I do the same with this boat. I don't know if it's necessary. I do have some anodes on the boat, but I do also have a big piece of extra aluminium attached to a wire that I then dump into the water. At least I can see that it's got holes in it, so something is happening to it. Yeah, I do what I can to preserve my metal. I can show you how it looks after being in the water. Apart from being overgrown with seaweed, you can sort of see how it's eroded. So I don't. Yeah, at least it's not my boat that's eaten. It's this one. So I might maybe I have so many of them I could sort of assemble another one. I just sometimes forget to take it up when I'm sailing, and then I'm sort of hearing these bang bang noises and think what, and then I remember that I forgot to take it up. All these little jobs, it's always time consuming. I was watching Drake Paragon the other night, and I really like his or their videos because he's so honest. Everything takes time and things break, and he's wheezing and up and down. So that sort of reminds me, that it just does take time when you have a 40-foot boat. It's not something that you just do in 5 minutes, but it's part of a lifestyle. The bowsprit! That used to be my favorite place on a boat. Sitting down here, getting my feet wet. There's not enough waves today that I can get my feet wet, but my boat is sailing itself, so I can be up here. It's so amazing! It really is. Oh, it's a good feeling. I'm really happy. And I was getting a little bit towards the wind side again, but it's okay. It's absolutely okay. Just standing here. This is where my furling general is gonna go. This is gonna make my life easier, and at least I will also have the feeling of accomplishing one more project to get my boat ready for longer distance. If I can and also have my wind vane welded on this year, oh, it's gonna feel good. Then I have the batteries and the autopilot, blah blah blah. But for now, well, I think I've sort of resigned myself to that it's gonna take the time that it takes. Yeah, also because I can't focus all the time due to my mother. The wind is dying. God is dying. The wind is dying. It's probably going to change again. I'm just now sailing towards a buoy for racing, and the last sail this fall I participated with a guy that has never really raced before, and there was extremely much wind, so I could do nothing but really steer the boat, and he had to take care of the sails. We were totally overpowered, but I will say that the other boats in the harbor, they now know that even though my boat looks different from their white maintained fiberglass boats, they really learned that, whoa, this is a fast boat. Another YouTuber that I get a lot of inspiration from is Patrick Lane, who is a single-handed sailor, and probably a little bit older than me, and he started out in sort of a really prestige, perfect touring boat, sailed really long distances. Then he shifted to one of the small, I think they're pogo boats. These are transatlantic, single-handed, really fast, very small boats. And now he's got some hybrid, and he's always really sailing long distances, single-handed. Yeah, I find it very inspiring because he's always going north, Scotland, Shetland, Iceland, and he's also going sort of in the, not during the summertime, but sort of in the early spring or fall. And he's really sailing, he's out there. So that's a great inspiration for me. The wind almost died with the new Genoa, recycled Genoa. It's gonna be longer, it's gonna be a bigger sail area. It's kind of, I think it's 7 meters at the bottom, and it's a lighter material, so I will be able to use that in weather like this. It's very solitary out here. Once you get out of the harbor, then you're not entirely in open water, but it's not a very traveled area, this one. So sometimes sort of psychologically, you really also have to pull yourself together because you're kind of immediately out, more or less on your own out here. And sometimes I like it. In the beginning, I really had to overcome resistance because you're really out here, and sometimes it can be both windy and wavy. Um, but as I am geared for long distance, now I just really enjoy the solitude. And what can I see? I can probably see 5 boats in the distance. That's all. Yeah, in wind like this, my trigger is just too small to the weight of the boat. And this is also what I experienced last year. This sort of summer sail with very light winds at the boats with the same length as mine, sailing faster. And I really do not like that. So I was kind of analyzing, and then I realized that the trigger is really not very big. And that's also when I started looking for the sort of light weather Genoa. So I have high expectations of being able to compete with the other boats once I get the light weather Genoa. Yeah, I think it's time to turn around. And then appreciating that this is going to be the last time, at least for a short period, where I'm going back into the same harbor. I'm fed up with that. I want to go to a new harbor. I don't want to go exploring. I want to see something new, meet new people, new challenges. So, but this is beautiful. It's a good start. Good dust off sail, single-handed. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Turning. Very slowly. Just boomed, but everything very slow and under control. And then I'll sail back into harbor. It's always interesting to do it single-handed in this harbor. And my good friend Fleming, he will come later today and look at the connection for electricity. Yeah, he can fix most. He also fixed this in the first place, so hopefully I'll get ready to go sailing. Having both the iPad and my old plotter. I always sail with 2 systems. Somebody's having fun in a tube. Yeah, I guess my kids would prefer that to go sailing. Wow, and the wind picked up. It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sail. Wow. And hopefully it doesn't pick up too much, because Sailing into my space here in Carricksmith single-handed is always a challenge because you need to get the stern lines over some poles that are actually too long for my boat, and then there's always a wind pressure on the side, so it's a challenge for everybody, also me. Oh, my kids would love that. Preparing as much as I can in advance. That was the winch handles. I don't need them anymore. And I'll get the buoy to get my inhaler lines under control once I'm there, but it'll take a little while. I have a plan that when I get the lazy cradles from my friend, I will then exchange all the lines, all the lazy jacks, and also the flag lines, so that they become the same color and the same material. That's details, but again, if they're all the same color and thickness, they might look a little bit more organized. Just got inspired. I'm thinking, oh, I would love to rent a motorboat so that my kids could go tubing. I think I really find that a lot more fun than going sailing for me. And then I sort of think, okay, I have a 5 horsepower outboard engine. I have a dinghy. I do have a water ski line. What if we started trying to drag the paddle boards behind that? I think I'll give that a try actually. Could be fun. Maybe for once or twice, but then at least there's some fun activity that I can sort of lure them into. The water's so calm today, and I'm looking for what we have here in Denmark. It's a small sort of black dolphin. It's actually called a guinea pig in English, marsvin, but mostly I see scarf birds that are diving under the surface. And yesterday I saw a baby seal. There are very few seals here, but you know that they're here because the mothers, they at this time of year, they sort of leave their cubs on the beach, and then they swim out to eat, and then they come back and pick up their cubs. So I saw that yesterday, and it's so hard for everybody, including myself, not to go and cuddle, touch these little baby seals, or push them gently into the water. But I have learned that you are just supposed to leave them because the mothers, they will come back for them. I haven't seen seals here, only the cubs on the beach. And now I'm really ready for the long distances to sail to Copenhagen to get my burlex rigged. So today was a very good aperitif. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I have this confidence of being able to handle the boat, which is where I have been aiming to get at, and I'm there now. I'm just realizing that on a day like this, where the boat is so balanced that I hardly have to touch the tiller, I am looking so much forward to the wind vane that's the first project, and then at some point also autopilot, because it gives tremendous relaxation and freedom instead of that I constantly have to deal with the tiller. I do like sailing. I do like also hand steering, but I can really now feel sort of the relaxation of not having to constantly steer the boat, and it's so balanced now. It's I think it's the first time I really discovered that it can be this balanced. Well, I will start taking down the trigger because I know it's taking time until I get my lazy cradle.